A very good morning to you. It's Friday the 14th of September 2018. Welcome along to Chapel Hill in Lincolnshire and this morning's United Kingdom talk, boys and girls. SOS Gregorian, I think you got the first message in on the Facebook Live this morning. Congratulations. I think that's the first time, isn't it? Is that the first time you're the person who's got the first message in? I think it might be. As well as Diane Jebb. Good morning to Diane Jebb. Rod Brown's there, who says it's a lovely day in Bedford. Well, I'll be driving past you a little bit later on, probably on the, well, I say past you, on the A1M, slightly a little bit further to the left or the right, depending on what way you're going. Oh, I had to come up here on Monday night via the M11. I think they must have been doing work on the A1M, but my sat-nav took me on the M11, which is further over to the right, so to the east. And honestly, up there, how many average speed cameras can you get on one road? God blimey, every time another section and another section. Not that I go fast, it just makes me feel very uneasy. And honestly, I'm not making this up. As a young man, yes, of course, I was a bit of a speeder, had to get everywhere as rapidly as possible. As I've got older, I certainly slowed down to the limit, or below the limit. And I just feel really uneasy about cameras all over the place watching me. And yet here I am, sitting here, talking to one at the moment. How mad is that? Huh? Morning to Joanna on the YouTube, and also Claire L. A very good morning to you there. I'm going to try and read some of the earlier messages out, like the ones that are there as I start, right at the beginning in future, because I'm kind of losing those in the whole grand scheme of things sort of later on during the show. All right, so I'll do that. I have got I know you're used to seeing me in a jacket and a shirt. I've got one in the car. The only thing is, on Monday when I finished work, I kind of chucked it on the back seat, and it's that material. What's it called? It's that material that all creases up. Linen. I think it's a linen one. Wasn't an it was less than £100, that one actually. It's the cream one, and I kind of chucked it on the back seat. I'll get it out when I get to the other end. Well, I didn't, and I left it in there for a couple of days, scrunched up on the back seat, which is terrible, really. And I looked at it this morning, and it's now all it's got like creases in it and marks, not dirty marks, but creases. And I didn't think it looked very good this morning. I've hung it over the back seat in the hope that some of the creases drop out before tonight. So that'd be outrageous. A very good morning to Dukey Chris, who's just arrived back off from holiday in, one moment please, let me refer to my mental notes, or just mentally, one of the two, Benidorm. You've been to Benidorm, haven't you? Yes. Looks like you had a good time there. There weren't many pictures of you sort of, drunk or something like that, Chris. I hope you're still watching. I know sometimes you wait for your name check and then just go. It's outrageous. I'm sure a lot of people do that on this show. They wait for their name check and then they're gone. Can't be bothered to wait. But, I was kind of waiting for pictures of you chucking up in the gutter or being completely sick. But then I remembered, Chris, that you're a millennial, aren't you, lovey? So you lot don't have fun. Huh? I've got the proof this morning in the Super Soaraway Daily Mirror, Chris. Is this you? Are you ready? Is this you? Because it seems to me most millennials are like this. I don't know if you've seen, Chris, the video which I and 10,000 other people have posted of the difference between clubbing in the 90s and clubbing today. Now, if you haven't seen this video, poor old Chris is back at work. Never mind, darling. At least you've got the tan to show off with people. That's assuming you've been by the, drag your lazy ass out of bed every morning after being drunk the night before. Did you get a tan at all? Huh? Anyway, yes, this video shows people dancing in the 90s in a club, and they're all, yeah. And then it cuts to people in a club in the 2000s, and they're kind of, yeah, snap, yeah, snap. Oh, where's my friend here? Let's do another one. Snap. Oh, where's my friend here? Let's do another one. Snap. And then it cuts back to the one in the 90s. I went, yeah, all off our heads in trade. It's so different. It really is. And there's been an article, which is in a few of the papers, Chris, about Generation Millennial. Because you are a millennial, aren't you? If I remember rightly, didn't you get around 20 years old, sort of around 2000? Is that all right? Is that about right? Sort of around, I think you've got to be around 21-ish. I know you're not quite that old, but you're kind of in that period. And I hope you're not having any of those at the moment, incidentally. Periods, that is. Generation Millennial. Teens shun drinking and smoking in favour of being online. I mean, how sad is that? Chris says he didn't have too much time to take pictures. He was having too much fun. Well, I don't know about this. It says here, when Adam Ant released the song Goody Two Shoes, he was 36 years old before his time. Is this you, Chris? The 1982 tune. Now, when would you have been born, Chris? 82-ish, 85-ish, somewhere around there? Somewhere around there, maybe a little bit later, 87, 88, something like that. The 1982 tune featured the line, "Don't drink, don't smoke, what do you do?" which is the perfect question for today's 18-year-olds, as the new study has revealed. Now, you see, the term millennial, it means something to some people and some to others. Some people think the term millennial refers to people born around 2000, 2001, 1999. Whereas other people feel it is people who came of age in 2000. So you would have been born 80, 81, 82, 83, 87, somewhere around there. You see, and that's the one I'm going with for this, all right? It says, for millennials are shunning drinking and smoking in favour of spending more time online. It's just awful. No wonder they're being dubbed Generation Sensible, or is it more a case of Generation Boring? Now, even when they're out in a pub, they... was it 1990, Chris? Is it really? Oh, you look so much older than that, dear. Even when the millennials are out, you see them sitting on a table. I have to say, Chris isn't one of these people. He's usually absolutely wrecked by the end of the night. I'm telling you that now. Chris is absolutely wrecked when I've seen him out by the end of the night. He's like, oh, all right, Chris. Yeah. I've seen you sitting with some very dubious people once you got quite drunk, my dear. Oh, the cough's still here. Excuse me. Anyway, these millennials, they sit on a table, and if you go and try and talk to them, all the conversations, they don't know what to say. They're the most boring people in your entire life in the history of the world, dear. God's sake. People following around Jesus were more intelligent and more up for a laugh. They were. The proof is in the Bible, Chris. What about that time when Jesus had been nailed to the cross, he died, and then they were throwing dice to get his clothes? The millennials would never have done that. They'd sit there discussing it sensibly. Perhaps they'd like to form a little left-wing group on Facebook. You know, millennials are us. Offend the millennials at your peril. I told you about the other thing, Chris, didn't I? Monopoly has bought out a brand new game. Monopoly, because they bring out all different editions now, Monopoly, don't they? Monopoly Millennial Edition. Have you ever seen that one? Monopoly Millennial Edition. The millennials buy it, and it doesn't matter what they land on, they can't afford it. Well, you lot keep taking the piss out of us for getting old. I turn it all back the other way because I'm not bothered. Anyway, good morning, Chris. Who else is there? Let's have a little look here. One moment, please, if I may scroll up slightly. Hello to Paul Mosley in Birmingham. Good morning to you. Who says, so true, the 90s were definitely a better night out. Yeah, if I, my big DJing time was certainly mid to late 80s, from around about 1985 to around about 2003. That's where my best DJing period, and narrowing that down even more, it would have been the 90s. I'm really a 90s DJ. Yeah, that's when I was doing like the big places and all that. And then after sort of around 2000 and I don't know. No, actually, no. Then there was Heaven in 2000, wasn't there? No, 1985, right the way through to about 2007, 2008. That was my best DJing period. After that, it kind of started going down. I was ended up with crap jobs and places that I didn't really want to be in. So that's just how it goes. But 1990s were a fantastic time to be a DJ because everyone was there to dance. No one was taking pictures of each other. Or exactly, that's exactly what was happening. They were taking pictures of each other, not themselves all bloody night long. Snap, 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 snap. Dear me. Morning to Ray Reynolds this morning, joining us there. Hello to Mikey Allen. Welcome along, Mikey Allen. I'm too much, apparently. I'm too much. Paul says they can't even afford the sewage works. Not judging by the stench of some of them, dear. Awful. Anyway, that's the millennials. It says, for either way, those born in the year 2000 are healthier and expected to live longer than previous generations, but spend less time socialising, figures from the Office of National Statistics show. Around half of the 18 to 24-year-olds reported drinking alcohol. Oh, that's 1990, 2000, 2010. Oh, you're 28, are you? You're 28, are you? Oh, you're a little bit old for this lot, aren't you, really? Hey, around half the 18 to 24-year-olds reported drinking alcohol in the week before the survey, while less than a quarter smoke. This is compared to Home Office research in 1999, which showed that 4 out of 5 had been drinking in the previous week. And in 2005, 32% of young people reported binge drinking. Today's 18-year-olds also spend half an hour less socialising each day than those at the start of the millennium, with more time devoted to computers and gaming on their own. On their own. They sit in little rooms on their own. Bang, 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 bang. That's it. That's it. No wonder you go into a pub and someone talks to you. I said to someone the other day. That's it. There was a millennial on the till in B&Q on Wednesday. Was it yesterday? What was yesterday? Thursday. I popped into B&Q on Thursday, just up the road here, and got to the till, buying a few bits and pieces, which I'll tell you about in a bit. And she gave me the price, and my sister's with us as well. I said, don't suppose you've got a B&Q card as well? And my sister says, oh yeah, just a minute. Because my sister has got every loyalty card going that you can imagine. Yes. Every single card she has got. Right? And sorry, I've lost the I looked at the messages and I mustn't do that while I'm trying to tell you a story. Where was I now? Yeah, every card going. So she's getting out this card, and I said to the girl on the till, I said, oh, this is my sister. I said, she has got every loyalty card going, every single one. I knew she'd have a B&Q. So the girl had a little chuckle. I said, do you know what? My sister is the only person in the whole of Boston, because that's where we are near at the moment, who's got a little card that belongs to the little Asian man that runs the shop on the corner. And that's the only card she's got. She's the only one with that card. She didn't get that. Stupid cow. That was a millennial. See? That's a millennial for you. They don't get anything. Ever. Waste of time talking to them. Unless you're playing a although bang, 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 bang. On their computer screens. Sad, lonely, pathetic characters. Good morning to Doctrine Enforcer, who says, what kind of brainwashing is going on here? Brainwashing? What planet are you on? Oh, dear me. Good morning to Right Side Up there on on the Vaughan Live thing. Well, welcome along. I was watching the telly this morning, I have to say. Sky News. I thought I'd give Sky News a try this morning. That was just at 9 o'clock, just before we came on today. And the newsreader had so much eye makeup on, it was unbelievable. I don't know what she looked like. You couldn't see her eyes through blue shiny makeup on the eyes. Anyone see her this morning? I don't know what her name is. I've not seen that one before. I'm not a fan generally of Sky News. Certainly not Kay Burley. Oh God, how boring is she? Oh, hello, I'm Kay Burley. Well, she's just vile, Kay Burley. Not a fan of Kay Burley. Usually I watch the BBC Breakfast Time. And then I flicked over before that. I was watching BBC Business Live and they were talking about the new Apple iPhones. And I had already seen about those. I mean, the most expensive one is now about £1,449, I think it is. And I was discussing this with my brother-in-law last night, actually. And he was saying, when are people going to wake up and realise it is wrong to be paying nearly £1,500 for a blooming phone that can do a few bits of extra pieces? I mean, I cannot believe there is now a phone that's £1,500. No doubt the saddos who have to be right up with the technology will immediately go and trade their phone in to try and get one of those. My best mate, Ron, he has to have the most up-to-date item of whatever is out of the time. You know, whether it's a car, this, that, that. And he said, well, I'll be able to get one of those. Why is that? He's got this upgrade thing where it's every year you can upgrade it to the next one or something like that. I don't know what he was saying. And then he would be paying for that monthly, you see. This is where they get you. You must understand that when you're paying for a phone, you're on some sort of contract or something like that. And I don't know what some of you are paying, 50, 60, 70 pounds a month for your brand new shiny phone and your data and phone and minutes thing. I'm in the fortunate position whereas I can buy a phone completely. I can just walk into a shop, there you go, I'll have that one. There's no way I'd pay £1,500 for a phone. That's just silly. I'll go a few models down and get something like that, and that would be more acceptable. Even so, I think the last one I bought was 700, and and once I had an iPhone 5S. I went from an iPhone 5S to an iPhone 8. And within a couple of days, I thought to myself, well, that was a pointless upgrade, really. I didn't really notice any difference. I didn't think it was any faster or any better. It was newer. That's about it. So I feel that I wasted money there. And I don't like wasting money. But a lot of people, they go out and what they do is they go for the contract. My contract, so I've got a SIM only. I pay £25 a month, which is expensive actually. But for that, and I use this, I get unlimited data, unlimited phone, unlimited text. I can take or leave texts. I'm not a text person. I hate texts. I really do. I find them the most impersonal thing ever. And people always make me laugh with text. You might ring someone up. You know, I might ring a friend, I don't know. Chris, who's with us this morning, might ring him up. Get answer phone. Okay. All right, Chris, it's only Chris. Give us a call back. And then that person, not necessarily Chris, that person might text you back later. You tried to call me. Do you want to try again now? Why don't they just pick the phone up and ring me back? How strange is that? People are very strange. I hate texts. I also find them very intrusive. More intrusive than the phone call. You know, you're sitting there, I don't know, doing stuff and beep, 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 and there'll be a text. How are you? Nothing to say. What's happened is they're sitting there bored in an office somewhere. How are you? Well, what sort of text is that? Do you want to know something or what? Ask me a question. So I'm not a fan of text at all. So I can take or leave the text. But I do pay, as I say, £25 a month, and that's completely unlimited data and unlimited phone calls as well. So that to me is quite good. But as I say, £25 a month. What do you pay? What do you pay with your latest free phone upgrade? £60 a month? £70 a month? It's all very well saying, oh, well, it's the only thing I have. Probably not. I bet you're paying something for broadband a month, are you? Yes? Got Sky Television, have you? Something like that? Got a gym membership? All these monthly things, add them all up. You're paying out £400 a month, dear. God, no. So, I mean, the iPhones, I don't know how they do it, but they just keep going up and up and up. We're now at £1,500. I bet you next year, when the next one comes out, it's going to be close on £2,000. £2,000. And you see them all queuing up outside the Apple, aren't they? And there's a certain look to those sort of people. And they've got the thick, black, dark-rimmed glasses, haven't they? They queue up inside their little Apple store. Oh, look, I've got my new phone. Wow. Was I ever like that? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I went round showing everyone my latest phone. And, let's have a selfie on my brand new phone. And out they are, once again in the clubs. Millennials, dear. Taking the photographs. They really are. Right side up says, am I here early or late in your cast? Oh, you're about 25 minutes in, right side in. You're about 25 minutes in, me old mate, all right? Okay, let me just scroll down now. I'm missing things here. Is that working all right? I think that might be working all right. Just a second. Be with you in a second and I shall tell you more. And the other thing on the news I saw this morning, and it's kind of sad news really, is that VW are no longer going to be making the Beetle. That classic car. Of course, you know the films Herbie and Herbie Rides Again, or that little friendly car with a face on it and all that business. I used to love those films. How many of them were there? Didn't they remake one recently? So VW no longer making the Beetle, which of course first came out, I think, wasn't it something to do with Nazis in Germany? And they were very proud, and they had this big thing, and curtains opened, and these old black and white films show you that. And they're no longer going to be making it. They said they want to concentrate more on family cars and electric cars. Well, I mean, why they can't electrify the VW, I don't know. Is that right? That in the VW Beetle, isn't the engine in the back and the front is the boot? So they must have a lot of room in there for batteries. You would imagine, wouldn't you? So sad news that really. I never had one myself. Wasn't my thing. But they were very, very popular years ago. Good morning to Josh on Facebook, who says, I have the Samsung J5 phone. I've got gift gaff. Pay monthly, £25 a month for unlimited everything. Oh, that's brilliant, Josh. Josh, I wonder though, gift gaff, am I right in saying at a certain point your speed is restricted on data on gift gaff? That's how I understand it. My speed is not restricted at any time. I'm with the 3 network. 3. Damn good deal that was. I mean, years ago I had a 3 phone. But I'm going back here 20 years, when they first came out. And, their service was abominable. It was really the worst service ever, 3. But nowadays, it's very good. I've had a couple of problems where I've rung them up and they've sorted it out. If not immediately, within a couple of days, there was a charge that I had on there that I had no idea what it was. It was something like one of those premium rate numbers, which I swore I hadn't rung. And they quashed that straight away and found out who done the charge as well. It was a company. I don't know what happened to. So there we are. Samsung doesn't sound bad at all. I think certainly next time, as I say, I've got an Apple iPhone 8, which should do for at least 2 years. At least 2 years. When it's time to, or when that starts playing up, I've got a feeling I'm going to try something else next time. I've been with Apple, but I'm unhappy with the amount of money that they make. I really am. And when I broke the screen on my mini iPad, and they charged me like an absolute fortune to have that repaired. So that upset me a little bit. Right side up says we've got 2 major cable and internet providers, both thieves. I'm sure they are. Morning to Nicky Mason. Morning to you, sir. Any chance I can get a shout out for my girlfriend Liz? Hello, Liz. Hello, Liz. It's our anniversary this weekend. How long have you been with her, darling? And we'll be spending it in rainy Wales. There's nothing wrong with rainy Wales. In the Welsh Wales. La da 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 da. Watch out for those sheep. Watch out for those sheep. Did you know some people put Wellingtons on the back legs of sheep? I'm not telling you why. Look it up on Google and see if that's something you might want to do, Dick. Oh, they won't be able to tune in at the weekend. How long have you been together, Nick? I mean, I think my record of being with someone was about 1.5 years. I couldn't stay with someone, honestly. I couldn't stay with someone much longer than that, I'm afraid. I've got a whole load of story to tell you here, and I don't think I'm going to get to this today because I've got loads of news bits as well here that I wanted to read out to you, which I found interesting in the paper this morning. Let's just bring that up. And I've only got 5%, 8% left on the battery as well. Hang on, let me refer to my notes. Yes, don't know if any of you are watching the programme Press. Nick. Is that Nick there? There we are. There's Nick. Don't know if any of you are watching the programme Press on BBC One Colour, which is on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock. Very good. It's about a couple of newspapers. One is a left-wing newspaper, The Herald, and one is a right-wing newspaper called The Post. It's very, very good. Very good. But there was a real blunder in it, and I noticed this yesterday. Again in the Daily Mirror today. In last night's Press, fans were in shock when they heard of a man who claimed to have never heard of VHS, despite being in his mid-30s. VHS, of course, was the videotapes that we all used to tape programmes and watch them a little bit later, and it worked very well. There was VHS and Betamax at one point. VHS 1, the sort of, you know, which one is everyone going to buy, and it went with... I bought Betamax, of course, didn't I, you know. I thought that was the better one, but it went along the VHF route eventually, and the Betamax thing died out. Right Side Up has just passed the Ruby wedding anniversary. Wife says, 1 happy year. I was appalled. I told her only 3 months. I love it. Get rid of them, Paul. Have you dealt with that? Have you dealt with that one, Paul? You're one of my moderators, aren't you? Get rid of them, dear. I didn't see any of that. Are you talking about, what was the name? Doctrine Enforcer. I think that might be the one you would... Is that the one you blocked there? Or is it someone else? I've got moderators on YouTube, you know. Don't muck him up, because he will block you. I think he takes great pride in pushing that button, don't you, Paul? Anyway, back to this. The editor of the Herald, as in the programme, met with an advertiser to work out how the paper could make more money, as he tries to convince her to put a wraparound advert on the paper to do so. She argued against the idea, however, saying she didn't want the paper to end up like VHS, which began putting adverts before the films. Now, do you remember that? So you'd buy a VHS film, the same as you'd buy a DVD these days. You put it in your machine, and the first 5 minutes was adverts for other films that were about to come out or had just come out. And of course, very quickly that would go out of date. But you were stuck with that advert. And in the programme, on the TV programme last night, she was arguing, you know, if we're paying for a videotape, or indeed her paper, you know, which has not got too many adverts in it, then people don't expect to see adverts in it because they've already paid the money. But this bloke, as I say, who was in his early 30s, what was he? The bloke was playing a character of 33 years old in that, and he was saying he had no idea what VHS was, and he was quite blasé about it. And she's going like, you know, VHS. You know what VHS is, don't you? No, but I want to be polite and say yes to you as you're my boss, or something like that. And I thought, well, that can't be right. How can a 30-year-old not know what VHS... So there was a real blunder in that yesterday, I thought. Anyone else spot that one on the Press? You're sitting there watching it. How can you not know what VHS is? Dear, dear me. Christina likes the shirt today. Thank you, Christina. I'm glad you like that. So that's another little item of news there. What else have we got? Oh, I know what I want to show you. As I say, yesterday, after I finished the show yesterday, my sister and brother-in-law came over And we had a few bits and pieces to do yesterday. So I went up to Tesco's to get my cheap petrol. Now, when I say cheap petrol, generally the price at the moment is about $1.32. Seems to be about the average price at the moment across the country. Up at Tesco's in Boston, thank you very much, £1.27.9. Oh yes, saving at least 30 pence in a tank. So I went up there to the Tesco's. We had to, I've got this to show you. Look at this. Look, it is a jalapeno pepper. My sister's been growing these. Look at them. Isn't that fantastic? And I said to her, I said, oh, that looks really hot. In fact, I'm now going to demonstrate to you live on air eating a jalapeno pepper. I don't think so. You're having a laugh. There's actually a video, I don't know if any of you have seen the video, of two young lads, you know, and they do these YouTube videos and they do mad things, dangerous things, some of them. And they eat one, pick up one of these each or something similar, and then they dip it in hot sauce and then they go. And very quickly, one of them starts chucking up and the other one, and this goes on for ages. Because you can't just, if you eat one of these raw, you can't, and it starts burning, it's not a case of just washing your mouth out. No, it hangs around forever, this stuff. And like 10 minutes later, this boy is still chucking up. Oh, it's awful. Awful. I shan't be trying that on the show this morning, I'm telling you that now. So yeah, well done to my sister. So I said to her that'd be really hot. She said, oh no. She said, what you can scrape the seeds out and then eat it. Well, what's the point of that? That's the whole point of these, to make sure that they're hot. So I've got 3 of these. So I'm doing a little bit more cooking on Sunday because what I've been doing is making my stuff in my slow cooker. I mean, I've got one here as well now, actually, a slow cooker. I've got one at home and I do a lot in the slow cooker, like chili type stuff. And I hard freeze it after I've done it, and then I put it in the cool box on the Monday, take it to work and then bring it up here. And my niece likes to sample my cooking. So far she's had the campfire stew, she's had the spaghetti arrabbiata, however you say it, she's had that. This week she wants chicken carne type stuff. So I'm going to use I've got 3 of these. So I won't use my bags of frozen pepper, or actually perhaps I could put both in. That would be too much. I'll chop these three up. I always put glasses on when I'm doing this, don't you? I'm terrified I'm going to get some of that in my eye. So I'll chop those 3 up and put those in instead of the frozen chili stuff, and see how that goes. I think it's a good idea. So we did that. I went round Tesco's, got some bits and pieces, got to the checkout. I bought the wrong yoghurt, haven't I? Oh, bought the full fat yoghurt, haven't I? We got a fat-free, dear. Fat-free yoghurt. Got to do something. Got to. It's called damage limitation. The amount of ice cream I've had in the last few days is unbelievable. Ridiculous amounts. I seem to have formed an addiction to ice cream, and I don't know why that is. I don't know how that's happened. I really don't. And it's not good, not with the Slimming World. And I haven't been there for weeks. I would imagine my membership has lapsed now because you've got to go at least once in 6 weeks. But I do manage not to have bread or cakes or crisps or chocolate or anything like that. I do manage not to have that. I never go in a newsagent or while I'm around a supermarket, I just have that bar of chocolate. I don't do any of that. So now and again, I go a little bit mad on the ice cream for some reason. And I don't know why that's happened. I really don't. Good morning to John Cooper. Welcome along, John. So then, as I say, we went to B&Q. I wanted to buy some time switches and no more glue. Or no more nails. Anyone use that? No more nails. Very, very good. So instead of nails, you stick this stuff up, put it on the wall. 24 hours later, it's solid. So I did try. And because, remember I went shopping the other day with my sister for her birthday. I bought a few bits and pieces for myself there. First of all, these delightful smelling things from the Body Shop. Look at these shower gels, 4 for £12, which I thought was quite good. All different flavours. Now, what's my favourite one? we got. Yeah, let's. I wonder what my favourite one is. Oh, I know what it is actually. I do know what it is. We've got British Rose. Look at that lovely colour. Isn't that lovely? Look, British Rose, right? That's nice. All shower gels these are. So British Rose. We got pink grapefruit. Oh, that's nice. Pink grapefruit, that one. Pink grapefruit. There is Satsuma. I smell like an orange. I might try this one tonight. The trouble is, if I put this on before I go to work, people might try and suck me. Because it's a Satsuma, mightn't they? They might try and suck me as I'm walking through people. Excuse me, you know, suddenly there's someone sucking away at your arm. Yeah. That's nice. That's really nice as well. Very nice. And this is the one that's really nice. Moringa. Try this. Moringa. Oh, actually, I haven't checked my text messages this morning. I'm very sorry, Maureen. Maureen's with us this morning. Good morning, Maureen. Oh, she sent that 25 minutes ago. I shan't hear the end of that. Sorry, Maureen, I'm not paying attention to my text. I've got a text number as well, boys and girls, okay? If you ever want to send a text, then that's fine as well. Let me just open that up now. I weren't paying attention to that this morning. Yes, it's Maureen. Good morning, Maureen. Morning. Let's try this one. Moringa. Oh, that's nice. What is moringa? Is that a flower? Moringa. Anyone know what that is? That's nice. That's nice. Claire is advising me to go and get weighed. I only need to go once a month to keep it going. It's worth paying for a few to get back on track. What would Linda say? You're absolutely right, Claire. You're right, Claire. You are right. Whether or not it's the fact that I'm not getting weighed that's made me become addicted to ice cream or not, I don't know. But I'm even doing it at home. I just go and get some ice cream, you know. And it's only ice cream. It's nothing else. It's not chocolate, crisps, and nothing else. It's only ice cream. Funny, isn't it? Anyway, so after that, I didn't download the photo to show you, did I? Oh, never mind. After we went to B&Q, no, so I got those. Well, and the other thing I bought the other day was this. Look at this wonderful draining board. Isn't that fantastic? Right, but it came, so I've just fixed this. I don't know if it's dry yet or not. It came flat, okay? So this bit was round there. And I knew that had to come across like that. So I'm pulling this thing and I couldn't get the thing, so I've given it a good time. I've only gone and snapped the damn thing, haven't I? You know, within a few moments of me owning this, I'd broken it already. Are you a bit like that? I've broken the damn thing. So what I've done is pulled it back up. With my no more nails, oh, it's come off again. Oh, damn. Oh, actually, no, useless. Oh, hang on, is that I'm going to have to stick that back on again. Oh, what a shame. I thought that had stuck on. Can you see where I've put a bit of glue around there? See? Because I snapped it off. Snapped the damn thing off, didn't I? Now it's broken again. Oh, so annoying. It's just a stupid bit of plastic. That's all it is. And this sits rather well on my caravan sink, because caravan stuff, generally everything in a caravan is a little bit smaller. That's not going to... Do you know, I think I'm just going to chuck them. Oh, I'm pissed off with this now. Look. Why are things so difficult? And I couldn't... What it was, it arrived... I can show you now because it's broken again. It arrived like that, right? And I couldn't get the thing to pull round. Just couldn't get it to pull... And I pulled it and I pulled it and then it went snap. And it broke. Very bad design. And now, with the no more nail stuff on, now of course it won't go on at all, because that's now made it too wide. Oh, I don't know if I just chuck the thing. Will that work like that? It might work a bit like that. I'll leave it like that. I'm going to chuck that away. Oh, I've only had the damn thing 5 minutes. I know. So annoying that is. Anyway, so that was our trip to B&Q to get the no more nails. Now, after that, we went out for a little bit of a meal. And I took everyone else to a place called the Chain Bridge Pub in Boston. So we went in there, nice clean place. It looks quite new actually. A few people in there quietly having their meals. The staff looked reasonably happy, which is unusual in one of those chain restaurants. Usually it's so miserable, it's unbelievable. And we ordered our meals, which came fairly quickly. I had a halloumi burger with some chips. And this plate arrived, and the food was nicely presented, but hardly any chips. So they put mine down, and then my brother-in-law's, and then my sister's, and I'm looking at this place. Honestly, there can't have been more than 9 chips on each plate. And this boy said, I said, well, where's all the chips? Oh, well, that's a portion. A portion for what? A mouse? Very, very disappointed. And as I say, you know, I said, well, where's all the chips? And I said, there's not many chips here, is there? Oh, and the answer, the usual answer from one of those people, oh, well, that's a portion. Not to me, it ain't, mate. That ain't a portion. Even down the kebab shop, you get more chips than that. And I'm not being funny. How much is it to put chips on someone's plates? How much does it cost a restaurant to put a few chips on a plate? Clearly about 3 pence at that restaurant. So I'll tell you where it was. As I say, you couldn't fault the service. The food was lovely, very well cooked, very well done. Speed of service, average. It wasn't slow, wasn't fast, so that was okay. No complaints at all about that. Easy parking. It was just the amount of chips. There was hardly any chips on the plate. I mean, you can almost understand a small piece of steak, which which I think my nephew, he had a bit of gammon, I think, which was quite large. The burger was slightly on the small side, I suppose, but it was okay. It was acceptable. The chips were not acceptable. They were very well nice. They were nice chips, just hardly any of them. So we had a pudding as well. And this is the ice cream again. Ice cream and cakes and things in a long tube thing, which I had. But hardly any chips. So very disappointed. So if you're going down to the Chain Bridge pub in Boston, it's got a website which looks wonderful. Part apparently of Marston Inns, Marston, Marston Inns. You know, don't think you're going to get many chips, because you won't. I was very, very disappointed with the amount of chips. Now, I don't like to go on about it. Right side up said gypped on chips. Yeah, you're right. Awful. Christina, she's stepped on the scales this morning. At least number was going down. Good. Good. Well done, darling. Well done. So once again, chainbridgeboston.com. Chainbridgepub.boston.com, I think it is. Part of Marston Inns. Lovely food. Hardly any chips. Disappointing. Disappointing. I may write them one of my extensive emails with that. Got back to the caravan. I did my DIY. I thought I'd glued that together really well, but it's come apart again, unfortunately. So that'll have to be chucked away, I suppose. And I also glued a little hook on the wall in the shower, because the hooks come off the wall, what holds the shower curtain back. So I fixed that as well, which I should be testing extensively later on. Had a little bit of sleep, got up, went round my niece's house, Tracy, because I hadn't seen her children this week, and I walked in unannounced, and they're all sitting round the table having dinner, sausage and mash. There they are. There's Miss Niece, her husband Ben, who's a lovely chap. Really, he reminds me of my dad, actually. Reminds me of my dad. There's Ben, and there's the 3 children, George and Emily and baby James, who are all pleased to see me. So I got shouted out as I came in. They're all having a dinner. I said, oh, don't let me spoil your dinner. I'll just go in the room. So, you know, I walked past them like a refugee, dear. I walked past them. Don't worry about me, you know. Oh, well, you can have sausages. I said, you know, I don't eat dead animals. So I walked over to the side of her thing, and I found a tiny little bit of mashed potato and about 7 baked beans. So I picked those up, and I walked with my head held down like that. Like, as I say, like a refugee walking past people eating. Making me look as sad and unhappy as possible. Walked past all the food. Great nephew George, while I was going in, suggested, very, very kind as he is, he's going to be 6 years old in a couple of weeks' time. I got him some presents, actually, just a few items of cloves while I was out at the shops the other day. And as I walked past him, he kindly recommended that I watch this children's cartoon thing that he'd left on the telly. So I got in the living room and quietly turned it over to the news. Bless, great nephew George. He's a lovely boy. He is. He's having some treatment at the moment. He had some sort of throat virus some time ago, a long time ago now, months and months ago, almost a year. And shortly after that, he came up in all these spots. I mean, all over. Just a couple on his face, but mainly his entire body was covered in little spots. And of course, you know what other children are like at when they're out and they see that sort of thing. And children can be quite nasty, sometimes without realising it sometime. And of course, there's other kids. Oh, what are all those spots, George? And he's got quite upset and a little bit withdrawn over this, to the point that he's got a little bit of alopecia, you know, where you worry so much your hair starts falling out. And he's got a few patches in his hair at the moment, bless him. So the hospital have tried all sorts of things, creams and that, with very minor improvement. So now he, at the moment, he's having some sort of special light treatment. Whereas he literally goes in this box and for a period of time, I think some sort of radiation or lights are beamed at him. Only thing is, he has to go in the box on his own. No one's allowed in with him. And on the first occasion, of course, you know, 5-year-old little boy, you know, you've got to go in that box. He's screaming and shouting, and eventually his dad had to go in with him. And his dad, I mean, that was even more frightening. He had to wear all this mask and heavy things because the light mustn't go to him. It must only go to the little boy. And I think the period, the period of time he's in the light box gradually increases. So the first time, it was something like 20 seconds or something like that. And that was the worst time he had going in. Once he'd been in once, he was okay after that. So the second time, I think he went in for something like 23 seconds. And he's been in 3 times now. And the last time was, I don't know, 26 seconds or something like that. And my niece says my sister says it is making a bit of a difference to the spots, because he is absolutely covered in spots. Now, I'm sure you, like me, we wouldn't see that. You know, I wouldn't look at my nephew, oh my God, look, you're covered in spots. It wouldn't even go through my head. And I remember we were going swimming some time ago, and he'd already had these spots. And he's like, he said, I don't want to get changed in front of Uncle Chris might see my spots. Bless him, and he thought that was going to bother me. Bless him, because of course the other children have said something, you see. And of course my niece said, no, Chris isn't bothered about your spots, and then that was fine. You know, but it's very awful to have a child, not necessarily with something wrong with them, something a bit different from other children. I had sticking out teeth. Oh God, did I suffer for that, really. Yeah, but it's one of those things, and over the years, I'm not one of these blooming people that, I've been, you know, I go to the sun. I could go to the sun tomorrow. I've been affected all my life because in the 1970s, people at school said I had buck teeth. No, you do see them. I had the whole gay thing as well, you know. I used to be called Bender at school. Bender. Has that affected me in later life? No, I don't think so. I mean, it is pathetic that some of these people that go to the newspapers, you know, I'm taking the school to court because they've allowed other children to call my child fat. Oh, get real, will ya? For God's sake, get real. Doesn't affect you in later life. Only if you want it to, then it will. All these people who are offended, victims, the victims, dear. You can see them every morning on the Victoria Derbyshire show. The Victim Show. Who's it going to be today? Who's going to be the victims today? And here we are. We have a selection of cats with only 3 legs today. How has that affected your life, cats? In later life and all that rubbish. So he's having that treatment at the moment. And we'll see if that makes any difference. I must say, I'm a little bit uneasy about the fact that there's a child in this box with the lights flashing on it, and yet no one else is allowed to go in there. And that worries me a bit, that does. You know, is that some sort of radiation type thing that you don't know, do you? But we're not doctors. We're not doctors. We put our lives into the hands of doctors and people that we trust, and we think they know better, don't we? Eh? So hopefully that'll be sorted. So I went into the went into the living room, and then Emily brought her school book over, and she said, "Can you read this to me?" And it's a school book, a story, and it's about a shark. And this book is very clever because the book has got a hole in the middle, and in that hole is like a piece of material that has been made into a shark. So it's got eyes and that, and you can put your hands through the back of the book and work the mouth like that of the shark. Right? So Emily's sitting next to me, and George has come and sat next to us as well, and I read them a story. And it was about this shark, and the shark wants to go and play with other things like turtles and dolphins and crabs and things like this in the water. But the shark's got a bit of a problem where it keeps sneezing. Achoo! And every time it sneezes, of course, its mouth opens and the tall teeth are showing, and it frightens the other animals off. And he goes to the turtle and he said, "Please come and play with me." And the turtle says, "Well, I do." Achoo! 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 And of course the turtle runs away. And these 2 children are sitting there, and I'm doing a bit of acting as well. I mean, you can read a book and you can read a book, you see. I could read the book and the shark sneezed 3 times, achoo, 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 and then the turtle run off. No, I don't read the story like that. I will say, and the shark suddenly sneezed. Okay, do it with us. You ready, kids? Achoo! And they're doing it with me. Achoo! Achoo! The pair of them are doing it. And then the turtle got scared and ran off. Like that. I'll do all that. Make it interesting for them. I could have been a teacher, couldn't I? And they're loving this. So I got to the end of the book, and very quietly, I was very pleased with myself, really. And I felt very happy because I've never read a story, really, I don't think, to a child before. And there's something very magical about that, where you have their total attention for the couple of minutes, or the 10 minutes or so that you're reading that book. And I felt really good about that. It was a lovely little thing to be able to do that. I mean, if you've got children yourself, and perhaps small children, I don't know, and at bedtime, you go up the stairs, you open the book and read them a story. How wonderful is that? How magical is that? Claire says, "Have you seen Despicable Me? Lovely film. It has books like that with a unicorn horn and kittens." Kittens! I like that word. Kitten. Kitten. You're a bit of a kitten, aren't you, Claire? You are a kitten. Here is our very own kitten, Claire. Are you along tonight, by the way? No, I haven't seen the film Despicable Me, believe it or not. My mate, he's got, it's the yellow thing, isn't it, with a mouth? The light yellow thing, like an upside-down dustbin. Is it? And he's actually got a tattoo on his arm in a Despicable Me. So that was a book. After that, they went to bed. I hung around for a little while, and then I went to my nephew's house, which isn't too far. I jumped in the car there, got there, and once again, more ice cream. 3 lots of ice cream I had yesterday. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I had a little chat with my nephew and that, and that was quite nice. And again, I got in, and I walked into the living room. And as I walked in the living room, the other 2, this would be about 8 o'clock, so her children are now in bed. She's got 3, Evie, Harry and Olivia. Olivia's, she's always in a bed or a cot somewhere because she's severely disabled. And as I sat down, I heard Chris, and it was Evie. She's the little girl, I think she's 6 now. So I said to my nephew, is it all right to go up and just give her a little kiss goodnight? And he said, yeah. So I went up. So always ask permission of the parents first, you know, because they might say, no, let them sleep. I get that, you know, I understand that. But they said, no, that's all right, go up. So I went up and said, all right, Evie. Harry already fast asleep in the bed next to her. So I left him alone, and I said, all right, Evie. I said, have you had a nice day? She said, yeah. I said, why aren't you gone to sleep yet? Oh, I can't sleep yet. I said, well, you will be able to now. Come on, give us a kiss. I'll give her a little kiss on the cheek. And she pulled her covers up and went to bed. Isn't that lovely? Lovely to be able to do that. And see, I can do all this while I'm up here. I can't do that down south. There's no little child or indeed anyone for me to kiss goodnight to while I'm down there. But there's something very special in reading books, I think. Olivia, incidentally, she's the little disabled girl. She seems to be doing, to my untrained eye, she seems to be doing quite well at the moment. Olivia has got all sorts of machines attached to her permanently. You know, they're always on, a little feeding tube in her stomach. She can't eat normal food. She has to be fed through this thing, and that gets put in a syringe type thing and injected in several times a day. Funnily enough, the other children like to help as well. Harry, who's 5, and Evie, who's 6, they like to do their bit. Oh yes. They come over, they watch my nephew or his wife or the helper doing this, and they want to do it. Can I have a go at that? Isn't that wonderful how they're looking after that little girl? Unfortunately, she won't make it to much of a late age. And the other two, her brother and sister, are now, I think they're now starting to realise this, and they're asking questions. And they're getting a little bit upset, I think, some of the time. But, you know, for now, she does seem to be doing quite well at the moment, because I've been around there twice this week to no alarms going off. Usually there's an alarm going off every few minutes, another alarm goes off, either the oxygen saturation level or heart rate or something like that goes off, and then my nephew's wife or my nephew or the helper had to run over and do things and adjust things, and it's incredibly hard work for them, and I don't know how they do it. I really don't. All right, Claire says, meow, don't think I can make it tonight. Very busy for a few weeks. Well, we'll miss you, Claire. We'll miss you. There is a week in October that I'm not there, actually, the Friday. I'm not where. That's way in October. That's months away yet. So that's my news at the moment, boys and girls. Any more messages at all? If you've got any more messages, do let us know. Okay, nice and quickly now, because I shall be disappearing very, very shortly. That's my day. Did I have any more news stories for you? Let's have a quick look here. I had a couple of news stories lined up here. 1 minute. Notes. That's on my notes section. Oh, yes, here we go. This, again, we're all in the Daily Mirror this morning, aren't we? Have you noticed that? All in the Daily Mirror today. There's cans of fish. Now, I think it's the Icelandic people who like this. But anyway, in the Daily Mirror this morning, excuse me, I'm just going to have a sniff and turn my mic off 1 minute. I've got a really thick back of the throat, and you really don't want to hear that noise. Hilarious footage has emerged of a British vlogger attempting a particularly unpleasant internet challenge, eating one of the most pungent foods in the world. Surströmming, or Swedish sour herring, is stored for months, marinating in its own bacteria, and is so smelly that locals advise opening the can underwater. That's how bad it is. Underwater. The fermented fish has become a bit of a sensation, with people filming themselves trying to eat as much as possible without throwing it up. I mean, why would you put yourself through that? It's bad enough these two lads on there trying to eat raw chilies dipped in something hot. Good morning, Russ, Philip Vernon. Blimey, you're a bit late. We've been here an hour. What time do you call this, eh? Dear me. The video features a group of friends in Devon sampling the delicacy, with one woman, Clee G, accepting the challenge of eating the entire can. Now, I don't know if you can see that picture. Yeah, you can. Look at her face. Look at her face. Oh, gosh. Unfortunately, it doesn't go well as she starts violently reaching violently as soon as the can is opened. This stuff absolutely stinks. I mean, why would you... There's a French cheese just like that. Gordova, Gorgonzola, something like that. And they heat it. They heat this cheese. I remember because years ago I used to do some DJing in a French skiing resort a couple of times a year. And this cheese would come out and it just stank, this stuff. Awful. Good morning, it's Gary Butler. Morning, Gary. We've done the chip story, Gary. Do try and keep up. That was about half hour ago, mate. That's my nephew there, Gary Butler. Say hello to him. Anyway, it goes on. Clee G then manages to make it halfway through the can before being physically sick, but still persists until everything is finished. Look at her face. It's in the Daily Mirror this morning. Oh, God, she actually does things like this all the time, as she is a member of the Devonshire Idiot and Company, a group of 3 people who regularly attempt bizarre and grueling food challenges. So, I mean, what's this stuff called again? The Surströmming Challenge, one of the world's smelliest foods. Well, rather you than me, mate. You wouldn't catch me trying to eat something ghastly like that. It was just horrible. Why would you? I just don't understand why people would put themselves through such a thing. 2 more stories for you this morning. Good morning to my sister. There we are. James is making noises at you, and we are coming round. Baby James is on his way round. Oh, no. Better get the Hoover out ready. Baby James is coming. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Sis, I want to go for a walk if you're coming round then. We've got to go for a walk. I haven't done much exercise this week. Can we have a little walk up by the river? That's where we're going to walk, incidentally, boys and girls. We'll have a walk along there. That's where we walk. Which side is it? Yeah, that side there. See? We walk along there. That's a lovely walk along there. We can go the other way this time. 2 more stories. BMW have unveiled a new motorcycle. Nothing unusual about that. Except it's a smart motorcycle. It drives itself. It can speed around a racetrack and even park itself without anyone sat on top. Amazing. The vehicle is powered by intelligent software that can turn, accelerate, lean round corners and brake with no human input. And BMW hopes that one day it can keep bikers safe by operating as a driving assistant. Can you see that there? Look at that. Look, no driver. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd want to go on one of those. I think... Now, I've actually never, ever been on a motorcycle. Can you believe that? I've never been on a motorcycle. Never. But if I was on one, I think I'd want to be driving that. On the other hand, I really want a car that can drive itself. How blooming marvellous. And I hope that will come while I'm still here, if you see what I mean. But how marvellous it would be to, for example, on a Monday, leave my house, get in the car, push the button, put my feet up. Maybe close my eyes for an hour or so while the car takes me to work. Get to work, do the job, get back in the car, push another button, and it brings me up to my caravan. So 2.5 hours, I could close my eyes or watch a film while the car is automatically transporting me to Chris's caravan here. I would love that. Can't wait for autonomous cars to come out. I really can't. Hello to John Parrish, who's been preparing for the typhoon. Good morning, John. Yeah, good luck with that, mate. Get some photos to us. We want to see the typhoon, John. Good luck with that. I hope you're not affected too badly with that one, John. Okay. And our last story today, and I've been following this on the news. Have you seen the 2 Russian blokes? These are the two Russian blokes who supposedly are assassins. And they are the ones that tried to do the poisoning, or we think they're the ones, not me, but the security services think they are the people that were trying to do the poisoning. They've now been on the telly and said, we've got the story all wrong. They're tourists. This bloke is reading this story on the news last night. I don't know how he couldn't keep a straight face. Because these two people they're being interviewed by someone on Russia Today, which is like their state-run thing. And they're saying, no, the British government got it wrong. We're tourists. We went to look at Sailsbury. Well, what's there? I mean, why not Tower Bridge, Big Ben, the Houses of Parliament, the museums? No, where did they go? Salisbury. We were tourists. We wanted to go and look around Salisbury. What, from Russia? That'd be like me, like me going to Russia and not looking around Moscow. Oh no, let's find a small town somewhere and go shopping. And I sat there, mouth wide open last night, watching that story. I think this is hilarious. What planet do they think we're actually on? How funny, how funny. To look at a clock. Was it to look at a clock? We wanted to see the clock in Salisbury. How funny is that? Dear, dear me. All right. Let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. First of all, my favourite person in all of Waitrose, Michelle White. She's on the customer services at Waitrose in Bracknell, and it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, you wonderful lady. You always make me feel, me and my friend make me feel so welcome in there. And we have a little bit of a laugh and a little bit of a chat, usually at other people's expense. She's recently watched the entire new series of Dynasty, which I told her to watch, and she loved it. So there you go. Happy birthday, Michelle. All right, have a lovely day. Happy birthday today to Scott Hyman. Happy birthday, Scott. Daniel O'Brien is 53 years old today. Happy birthday, Dull. Cill Panda, happy birthday. Dominic Sinclair, 49. You still haven't got to the 50 yet. At least not on your Facebook, dear. Oh, come on, you must be 50 by now, Dominic. Dominic I worked with many, many years ago at a place in Earls Court called Harpo's. He did some DJing, I think there, and some hosting as well. So good morning to you, Dominic. Happy birthday to you. Laura Kerr. Good morning, Laura. Happy birthday on this Friday to you. As indeed, it's Ricky Farugia. Is it Farugia? I think it is. 46 today. Sharon Fraser, happy birthday to you. And Vlad Pigrida. Pigrida. I think it's Pigrida. I hope I've got that name for you right there, Vlad. All right, so happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy your birthdays, gang. Tonight, it's karaoke tonight. Hello to Mr. Campbell from sunny Scotland joining us very, very late, Mr. Campbell. We're nearly finished now. Never mind, you can watch the replay if you want to, if you've got nothing better to do. Paul says the worst thing about the Russian so-called spies was that they went to Salisbury twice and flew back to Russia. It's true. Oh, dear. Ding, dong, ding, dong. All right, gang, it's Friday night tonight, so a little bit later this afternoon I shall be jumping in my car and heading towards King's Cross in London because I'll be hosting karaoke tonight. Karaoke tonight is at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road. It's the only place I do karaoke now. I've no interest in doing anywhere else, to be honest, anymore. I had such a bad luck earlier on this year. I kind of gave up, and I found other things to do now. You know, I wouldn't want to swap my time up here for work again. That's done now. So it's the only place you'll find me doing karaoke now. Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Starts at 8:30 and goes through until midnight. So once again, North London karaoke tonight and every Friday starts at 8:30 and finishes at 12 midnight. That's it for the show today, gang. Thanks ever so much for joining us. I shall now await the arrival of my sister, and we'll go for a nice walk along the river. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.